Fort McCoy, Wisconsin was the last stop for about 200 members of the 1486 Transportation Company before the final leg of the long journey home from active duty in Saudi Arabia and Kuwait. 3 C-130 aircraft from Mansfield's 179th Tactical Airlift Group headed to Mansfield with tired but anxious soldiers who are on their way to be greeted by family and friends at a special reception at the Mansfield Air Base. A little fatigue was showing on the faces of troops who were boarding transport aircraft bound for Mansfield-Lam Airport. But spirits were at an all-time high because this was the final flight of the long journey from the Middle East to home and loved ones.
I'm happy to go home right now. Can't wait to get there. And as soon as I get out here, it'll be better.
The biggest thing for me was I didn't think I'd ever be separated from my son because he just turned 2 in May and I missed his birthday. And
I'm just glad to be back.
The 1486 Transportation Company was the only full military unit from north central Ohio to actually participate in the Gulf War on Middle East soil. Designated as a medium truck company, the 1486 transported military supplies in support of the Desert Storm operation and were even an important part of General Norman Schwarzkopf's famous end-run Hail Mary strategy. During those crucial 100 hours of the ground war, they transported supplies around the clock for many days. No doubt many emotions are running through these troops' thoughts as they head back to Mansfield. Few of them would have ever dreamed a year ago they'd be in the middle of a war thousands of miles away, which would separate them from their families. But now, with their duty complete and a well-deserved sense of pride in their heart, they are ready to pick up where they left off and rejoin those who've been waiting patiently for their safe return. A relaxed atmosphere filled the interior of the transport planes as troops exchanged stories and talked about future plans. To them, these last few hours of the journey were seeming like the longest yet, but many of the soldiers passed the time by reflecting on their experiences in the Gulf and shared their thoughts about returning home.
Well, it feels real good after 6 months in the desert. I'm just glad to be going back, and glad we're taking everybody that we came with back also.
I like driving over there because got Habibs, we call them Habibs, and they were in American terms, very bad drivers, I guess you could say. They'd run you off the road, so you get your chance to get back, so.
Well, I'm just glad to be going home. It's been a long 6 months, so I'm just glad my son come up here and join me so we can be together on the trip home here.
The long-awaited arrival finally came at 1 p.m. Monday afternoon. For the first time since last November, the 1486 was home at last. After rejoining their families and loved ones, the troops were greeted by a large crowd, local dignitaries, and special guests who participated in a warm reception at the airport's largest hangar. Planned as the biggest reception for returning troops in the state of Ohio, speakers at the rally heralded the local heroes for their part in the war effort and echoed the praise of all who attended for a job well done. The 1486 troops departed Mansfield-Lam Airport in a caravan, which took them through Mansfield, and they eventually ended up at the Ashland Armory. Many people lined the streets in Mansfield and Ashland to show their support for the troops, as young and old alike waited to catch a glimpse of their own hometown heroes. To the returning troops, this was a welcome home they'll never forget. But the real welcome home will happen in the next few days when they return to their homes and families and pick up their lives again. Reporting for TV50, I'm Laurie Reinhardt.